Welcome to another TruckPay video tutorial. My name is Ben, and today we're going to walk through how to add an inspector to a job and have an inspector perform an inspection for a load. We're going to start by first creating a site, then creating a job, and then finally we're going to add an inspector to the job and customize what we would like that inspector to inspect. Let's get into it. First, let's create our site. We'll add a location ID, a name for our site, input emergency contact information for the site, which is optional but always good to have. We can either type in an address, enter coordinates, or drop a pin on the map. We're going to enter an address, set a start and end date for the site, as well as an open and close time. Select what type of site it is, and then we're going to set the site to be public so that owner-operators and subcontractors in the area can bid on the job. But remember, you can keep this switch flipped off so the job is only available to your company drivers. Now that we've created our site, let's create a custom material list and add a custom material to that list that happens to be inspectable. We can only inspect materials that we mark as inspectable. We're going to give our material list a name, and then we're going to add our first material to that list. We'll give it a number, a name, a description, handling, and additional info, and then we'll be able to select if it's a batch material, a hazardous material, or an inspectable material. Then we'll be able to update the tags and the categorizations for that specific type of material. Now we're just going to add the rest of the materials for our mix. Now that we've created our custom list of materials, we're going to create a mix design. We're going to add our targets to our mix design, and then we're going to add our constituents. Now we're going to create a job and add our new mix as the material for that job. We'll set the load time, shipping date and time, on the job time, specify our customer number and name, specify who ordered the load, and how much material is being delivered. We can then choose if the driver is a company driver or an external one. Next, we'll add our job information, like the job name, specify the start and end date, open and close times, equipment types, and how many types of equipment we'll need, as well as how the driver will check in and check out of the job. We can set a geofence as well. And then we're going to specify our material pickup and drop-off locations, and select the materials being moved in the load. We're going to choose the mix design we just created. Lastly, we're going to specify if the job requires an inspection and where that inspection should be, at the pickup or at the drop-off, and if the inspector is a company inspector or a third party. Great, now our job is created and it's time to dispatch a driver to the job. But before we do that, let's update our inspection settings for the job, because we need to add our inspector to the job and specify what the inspection items there are for the inspector to inspect. TruckPay's supports various types of inspection items, such as temperature, moisture, taking a picture of the load, signatures, uploading documents, slump, and plenty of others. Now we're going to actually dispatch our driver, and then we're going to add our inspector, and we're ready to go. Next, we're going to check in as a driver, complete our load, and then after that, we're going to do our inspection. And you'll notice that we have two devices here. We have the driver device, which is what the driver is using to check in and check out. And then we have the inspector device, which is the one doing the inspection. As an inspector, we can see the deliveries that are currently ready for inspections. We're going to tap on it and then click on Create Inspection. You can see here that the inspection items that we've specified are available for the inspector to input. So let's go do that now. And that's it. We've created our site, created our job, created a custom list of materials, a mixed design, set up inspector settings on a job, delivered our load, and performed our inspection. We'll see you in the next one.